It's not Miracle Gym, but close enough. Probably Miracle American Gym. Yo, Soul Fam, thank you very much for that 10 months there. And a 10 years streak. 10 days watching this fishing streamer fish, Yash Fish. Thanks for sub, Soul Fam. Hey, Hippo, Jay, Duke, Ragadum, Hammerite, Sly Guy Badass, Jack, Olimars, Mungo, Megagoat, Slave Jobs, Dream Boss. What's up? Good to see you. What's my favorite fish to eat, Cody? Steak? I don't know. Any fish. Too hard of a question. I don't really have preferences. Turn on the lights, Cody. Alright, you're right. Give me a second. Hold on. Let me quickly code webcam in. We got this. This will do. This will do. And here you go. Alright. Alright. The webcam is reserved for later. What's up, Biko? This cat. Talents do eat fish, just don't have a favorite one that I can think of. Alright, let's start the lore so we can actually play the video game soon enough. Let's see. Fish, exactly. Exactly. Bass Masters Classic Pro Edition. That's the video game at hand, of course. It is an exclusive Sega Genesis game because it was released only in US. It was released in November 1996 as a sequel to Bass Masters Classic, the previous game, which came out the year before that. And here you have the cover art. So you guys saw this, fell for the fishing meme, and voted right onto it. But that is good enough, indeed. Hey, Zenki. The fuck, already memes. Okay, that's the old one. Good one. Nice one. Alright, more than a sequel though, this is kind of an update with added content. You got 6 new fishermen, a new lake, more fishing equipment, difficulty settings, you can zoom in, you get new music, as all part of the new package. And the package is a 16 megabits cartridge, which is a 2 megabytes ROM size. It's the same as the previous game here, but it's alright. Being that late of a release, it was pretty much normal, yes, yet to compete with the CD video games that were coming out at the time, like the PlayStation was already out. Anyway, let's check out some really good advertising for this game. Learn to play bass like a pro. Now, as much as that is a very good ad, it didn't occur to me until much later that the dude's bass guitar is actually a bass, which is pretty awesome. I gotta wonder if that's an actual. No, couldn't be. It couldn't even be an actual instrument because that's gonna be fake, dude. It's no enough buttons to tap on, which are. Is this a lefty? What the fuck is this picture? This guy's left-handed playing the bass. All right, so that was a very good advertisement, guys. Learn to play bass. like a pro. So as you can see from the ad, this came out for both the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo, which is normal if you consider the developer here, Black Pearl Software. I don't know, I would suppose Hippo that adult would normally get into them if they wanted to, but had to gather the ad to the kids, I guess. I have no idea how I would market a fishing video game myself, actually. Anyway, published by Black Pearl Software, developed, published by THQ. Black Pearl being a subsidiary of THQ, they publish many games themselves, some sort of a off-label if you want. Their first game being Sequest DSV being published. So a game I very much look forward to. I never played, always been interested into playing that. There's Mega Drive and Super Nintendo as well. But they also develop many games, such as Bassmasters. Now, most of their games came out, as we said, on both the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive, which is reasonable given the late start of the Black Pearl label in the console wars, because they started in 1994. This game is 1996. I mean, 94 is already late enough. This release is this is a Sega Mega Drive game released in 96. It's pretty. I mean, the console came out in 88, so that's pretty out there. Hey, Owl, what's going on? It's a little dump. It's a little dump, not a big one. The good part comes after the dump. I call it the wipe. But then there's the bidet, which is even better, because you get to finger yourself. All right, the Bassmaster Classic. You got a logo. Presented by Dix. This is a bass fishing tournament. Originated in 1971, when its first edition was held. It shifted from a spring event to a summer event in 1984, and then into a late winter event in 2006. Eventually became a 3-day iteration. Now, initially and until 1976, it was held at a so-called Mystery Lake, unbeknownst to the competitors. So you wouldn't know where you would go fishing. That was problematic, which is why they started in 76 declaring in advance which lake it would be, so that fans would be able to attend. As, I mean, you know, normal human being tournament. Now, all of the winners of the Bassmasters Classic have been, until 2019, from the United States. One man is the exception. She's a Japanese dude called Takahiro Mori. She has an homonymous in the form of an anime director, but it's not the same dude. See if I can get a picture of the guy. It's hard when you're typing katakana and not realizing, but... Alright. Here's the dude. Here's the dude. Behold the only dude that wasn't American to win this thing. This thing here. Now, the video game, as found in the credits, is actually dedicated to the memory of one person in particular, which is this guy, Brian Kirchhoff, winner of the 1994 Bassmasters Classic. Hey, it's Muhem. Now, Brian Kirchhoff was once an hamburger flipper, like he would just work at a restaurant flipping burgers. And he qualified for the Bassmasters Classic. And much to the surprise of everyone, given how he was a 23-year-old guy and thus labeled as an amateur, he won the tournament while hitting a limit every day, which I assume is when you can't catch fish anymore because like your bag is full. Every time he caught a fish, a bass, he would also blow in the fish-shaped whistle that his friend has gifted to him as a good luck charm. So get the bass blowing the whistle. Now, Kerschel's victory was not iconic just because it was 23 and defeating old veterans, but also because it was the first and still only time where a Basque Nation representative won the competition. Now, you might have seen this logo around. Basque Nation, it's actually, you can see the dots there is an acronym. Stands for Basque Anglers Sportsmen Society. Now, the issue here, sadly, Kerschel lost his life famously a couple years after that, a few years later, I don't know exactly, on his plane back to Mexico after a rather unfortunate and fatal seat change in his plane. Like something went wrong, the dudes that got on his seat all survived, but he died instantly. So not only this game is dedicated to him, but his whistle got commercialized and became an icon and a collector's item. Oh, he died the same year in '94. Damn. Yeah, that explains it. Because he left for Mexico to do, I don't know, like a speech or something like that, you know. Well, it was still on the top of the wave, and then he died on his way back. Now, let's look quickly into the composer for this game. That's also pretty short-lived. That was a sad joke. But this guy, Phil Crescenzo, of which I don't have a picture, only worked on like 2 games. Well, 2.5 if you want. Phil Crescenzo is an American musician who started playing in the 60s and since played in many bands. He's married to a woman, Judy, a singer, whom he met at the record plant after a tour that brought him to California. He would work for Black Pearl Software. Here you go. In the 90s, working on 3 of their games. The entirety of the video game credits under his belt are those 3 games. Why did I say 2.5? Because 2 of those 3 games are Bassmasters Classic and Bassmasters Classic Pro Edition. Well, both the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive versions, but I would assume him not handling too much with sound engineering. But then again, you never know, because he used gems on the Mega Drive games, and Super Nintendo, well, its chip is notoriously a sampler, so it cannot be that hard to whip something away. You guys might tell the story here better than me, because when I tell you what the 3rd game is, it's The Mask on Super Nintendo. I don't remember the music off the top of my head in that game, although I remember the game clearly. Anybody a fan of that score, that soundtrack? Maybe that one sounds good. Anyway, we're not gonna have bad music in this game. Quite the contrary, but should be interesting.